Did you know that some of your best content ideas can come from the most unlikely of places, like your favorite TV show or favorite podcast? Because here's the twist. It is not just about what you learn. It's about how you can apply your entertainment to your content strategy for your business. So next time you're watching TV or listening to your favorite podcast, don't just relax. Transform those moments into your next great piece of viral content. Because turning your entertainment into content isn't about creating new ideas. It's about finding inspiration in everyday moments and then repurposing them in a way that speaks to your target audience and relates to their interests that are maybe outside of the business that you or industry that you're in. Because did you know content that taps into trends or pop culture can actually increase engagement by up to 60%, as it's something that potentially resonates with your audience on a more personal and timely level. This video is the last in this series of the Infinite Content Marketing Ideas Playbook, and it's going to be just short and sweet. And I actually learned this idea from Dan Coe, and I'm sorry, I don't know exactly what video it was in, so I'm going to link to his entire channel down in the description. But in this video, I'm going to tell you about the premise of his concept. And it is also an example of me using pop culture or other related industry giants to prove my own point. So you might be coming across this video for one of two reasons. The first one is you're already doing the Infinite Content Marketing Ideas Playbook with us. And the second one is you happened across this video on YouTube. And if you aren't doing the Infinite Content Marketing Ideas Playbook, imagine this. Imagine you built an actual database where you would be going there. Every day you have to create content and you're supposed to come up with something that resonates with your target audience day after day, year after year. But instead, what if you built what I'm calling a vault, a content vault, an infinite content vault that's ready and waiting with all of your top SEO and AEO research, top performing competitor videos and blogs, not to mention all of your branding information that would not only support content creation in the way that you want to produce content, but be an AI tool that can completely transform the way you think about how content is created in the first place. Because once you build this database, you're going to be able to create top performing content consistently. It's as easy as asking ChatGPT, except you don't have to explain to this AI who you are and what you want to talk about. Just because this might be hard to imagine, here is a quick demo of what I'm talking about. So see over here, you have videos, you have blogs, you have documents, and between all of these sources, I have now an infinite vault of ideas, meaning that if I say, I could ask for one idea, I could ask for create a series based on the sources, let's say a create a 5-part series based on the sources, enter. So let's see what it comes up with. But while it's thinking, let's also look over here because you can generate an actual podcast. And I highly recommend you come in and try this. It's super creepy how real they sound, and just a little forewarning for what the future holds for us all. So over here though, you could create, based on the information that you've given the vault, you could create a study guide, which actually means you could create a tangible PDF based on your industry and top and niche for your audience. You could also create what's called a briefing doc. Now, of course, that sounds very corporate, and one thing I will say about the briefing doc is that it's not like what you're thinking. It's not a generic version of here's what to do and how to do it. But what it does do is it pulls out all of the best topics from your sources and gives you many, many ideas and angles at which to come at topics from. Because for me, I'm in content marketing. There is an infinite number of ideas and an infinite number of angles that I could come at that from. And the problem is that would basically stop most people in their tracks because they're like, wait, what do I do? And so what this does is it helps narrow down and give you a focus point of each individual piece of content, because your content, basically the rule of thumb is if you're asking your target audience to remember or believe more than one thing at a time, then they're not going to believe anything. And so you want every piece of content to have one particular focus. But learning behavioral changes, learning change in behavior as a result of new information. This is a part of content marketing because the whole point of content marketing is to create a change in behavior. And so having a piece of content about the study on that is actually kind of ironic, but you know what? That is definitely part of content marketing. So, as I said though, oh my God. So, here is just a live example though. I asked create a 5-part series based on the sources. So here is an outline for a 5-part series. The series title is Mastering Your Audience and Lead Generation. Who here needs that? Who here wants that? Okay, so basically for your infinite content vault with your infinite ideas, you could be creating this exact same thing for yourself. So part 1, defining your ideal customer, the foundation of lead generation. Oh my gosh. So this has not only that, 3 key concepts and an actionable takeaway for me to create 2 lead magnets and core offers, attracting and engaging your ideal customer. Hang on. In the comments below, please tell me if this is something that you actually want me to create because this seems rather relevant. Part 3, content pillars and the content unit, crafting engaging content that drives leads. Yep. Part 4, the 4 core methods of lead generation: warm to cold, one-to-one, and one-to-many. And I would also add in my scale of belief, which is one of the videos in the Infinite Content Marketing Ideas Playbook. And I highly recommend that you do that exercise because it's really powerful and really going to make you think about content from a different angle. Where'd part 5 go? Optimizing your strategy, data, testing, and iteration. Because of course, don't reinvent the wheel, just use what works. Not that that's the whole video, but that's kind of the summarization of it. This 5-part series should provide a comprehensive guide to mastering your audience and generating leads, drawing on key concepts from the provided sources and our conversation history. Now, just so you guys know, when you are using Notebook LM, if you do not save the note from this chat box in the middle is basically like 10-second Tom. If you don't save the note, then it will go away. And so that's just one thing to keep in mind, that when you're using Notebook LM, this is something that's supposed to clear out. Over here on the right-hand side, though, these notes down here are things that you will always be here when you come back. Guys, this is just a very, very short and sweet demonstration of how this Infinite Content Vault, in literally seconds, created an entire 5-part series that is pretty relevant. And to be honest with you, comment below if you actually want me to make this series, because I have a feeling if you wanted infinite content ideas, you also want the 5-part series on how to generate leads, is basically how I would summarize what that 5-part series really was about. This is just to get you excited about what we are building in this series. So let's get back to it. So if you're ready to build your own Infinite Content Marketing Vault, then there's a link below. If you're ready to stop scrambling on content, I've been building business tech systems for almost a decade now, and this one is probably in the top of what I've created because you're going to have an endless, infinite stream of content ideas day after day, year after year, simply by putting the work in up front. But this video is just one of 10 free strategies that you can use to create content marketing that will not only resonate with your audience, but it's also based on existing high top performing content. And then it also has an added zest from your personal branding. Creating content is not something you do one day. It's something that you commit to over time. And so that's how this database, the Infinite Content Vault, is going to feed your content creation and distribution system for years to come. So if you're ready to build your Infinite Content Vault for yourself, the links are down in the description, all the descriptions. So as I said, I learned this concept from Dan Coe, and his channel is linked below. But this is a strategy for creating content that makes the content come to you, if you will. So the premise of Dan Koh's advice was this: every time you are listening to your favorite podcast or watching your favorite TV shows, it's always an opportunity for you to be on the lookout to tie those lessons back to your industry. And I've come up with 3 different categories in ways that you can make related content or unrelated content, frankly. So the first one is creating an aha moment. If you're listening to a podcast or binge watching your favorite TV show, there's a chance that something from those entertainment pieces could be used to create an aha moment for your audience. Like, there is no better example than this exact video, because I am using my own personal education and entertainment as a concept for an idea in my Infinite Content Marketing Ideas playbook. And of course, an endless stream of infinite content ideas would need to include every potential path to develop those ideas. So that would include your entertainment, and it also would include your education. So if you're in an industry where you can take a lesson or a moment from an entertainment piece that you're listening to and tie that back to a story or transformation or struggle that you know your target audience is having, then not only is it going to be a fun version of content for you to create, but it's also going to potentially reach them on a different level. So here's another version of this. There was a video that Alex Hormozi recently put out that basically squashed the limiting belief that people think that they need 100,000 followers to make $1 million, because he was asking somebody how they were making so much money with only 5,000 followers on Instagram. And it was basically that she creates very curated content directed toward people that need her help. And she makes $1 million with 5,000 followers. And I actually made a reaction video to this on my channel, and I can link that. But the point is that I am taking his aha moment to help my audience understand, because once you understand that you only need 5,000 followers to make $1 million, then you're going to want those infinite content ideas. So I am taking things that are happening in my space and helping people overcome the mental challenges that it takes just to get them to believe that this is actually possible. And not even possible, probable. So another one is a what not to do example. Sometimes it is way easier to learn when it is what not to do. My first boss, I used to joke, was a walking example of what not to do. And there was a point where his lawyer said you're not allowed to walk into your businesses because every time you do, a lawsuit ensues. But a better example I can give is a very simple marketing one that we've all seen in real time. Now, I grew up in the wine industry, and all of the wine industry commercials sound exactly the same. We're homegrown, family owned, we love our grapes, we love the land, we take care of our crop. And it's like this weird, it's got some values, but ultimately it's kind of a pat on the back. It's a pat on the back to them for being great farmers. And that's very important for good wine. Not to get you wrong, like, that's very important for good farmers. However, it does not speak to the audience at all. It does not speak to anyone who is going to be drinking that wine. And so an example I've always given is, in contrast to the wine industry's generic typical standard, what if their ad said, at the end of a long, hard day, the only thing that brings you comfort at night is sitting on your couch, snuggling up with your favorite blanket and drinking your favorite glass of wine. We're just asking to be that wine. And I know it's so silly and so simple, but one of those is somebody is talking about themselves, and the other one is painting a picture, well, and it's an ad, so giving someone a direct image in their head where they see themselves enjoying that wine. Now, of course, you have to have good wine, like, it has to taste good. Obviously, no one's gonna sit and snuggle on their favorite couch with their favorite blanket and drink crappy wine, but that's kind of besides the point. And so a really simple tip that I always have for people is asking themselves, after they create marketing, who is this marketing for? And in the wine example, the one that is them talking about what a great farmer they are, that's for them. That is not for your ideal client. The one talking about the person who's going to enjoy the wine on the couch at the end of a long, hard day, that's for the person who's going to be enjoying the wine. So both of those things are supposed to sell wine, but one of them is speaking to the person who's going to be enjoying it, and the other one is speaking to the person who made the wine. So you tell me, Which one did you like better? So that's a simple example of what not to do. And my last tip here is using mainstream entertainment. Sometimes pop culture and business lessons collide. In my particular example, I made a video series explaining why the WNBA is such a huge embarrassing failure as a business. Like, this isn't about basketball and this isn't about sports. I am an athlete, as you can see, but as a business, the WNBA mocks what it means to be a successful business. And so I mocked their business. So what I did was I took all 5 departments of every single business: marketing, sales, service, support, and finance. And what I did was I took a video that represented the WNBA and what the WNBA represents and contrasted that with an industry expert and what the industry expert said. And it actually turned out to be hilarious. But it was using the mainstream media and the mainstream entertainment, because Caitlin Clark is the it girl right now, to prove a bigger point. That, for instance, if your marketing says that it's inclusive, but it's not actually inclusive based on facts A, B, C, and D, then you actually lose trust with your audience. And that's what the marketing section demonstrated beyond a reasonable doubt. That if you're going to say you're something, then you have to follow through on that, and actions speak louder than words. And so I contrasted that with an Alex Hormozi video where he was talking about how hard it is to gain trust back after it's lost. And it turned out to be kind of a funny video, but also a fun video for me to make, because it's been literally like wanting to pull my hair out watching them operate as a business. But another example of this is not even something that I did. There was a YouTuber that wanted to create a financial lesson, and they used Taylor Swift to do it. The guy was saying that he wanted to help people understand this financial lesson he was trying to teach. So what he did was he took the Taylor Swift's impact on the NFL and used that pop culture moment to teach this business finance lesson. But she became a powerful demonstration to help his audience understand something that he had been trying to get them to grasp. There are, of course, an infinite number of ways that this could be used, but the point is these 3 are a good place to start. And furthermore, we just need this on in the back of your mind, that when you're listening to your favorite entertainment, you're binge watching your favorite show or listening to your favorite podcast, if there is a moment in that entertainment that would resonate with your target audience, then you have to pull that out. And there's obviously ways to do this so that you're not copywriting or anything. You're going to add your own value to this. But what you're doing is you're taking other instances of learning this lesson and relating them to your business's transformation. And I also find the reason analogies and metaphors are so powerful when it comes to understanding is that you actually take someone out of the moment where they're confused and you give them a different way of looking at the problem. And so it can actually be a very powerful tool to help people truly understand what they're maybe not grasping when you're just telling them, black and white, left and right, 2 + 2 = 4. So it creates a more artistic and creative way to teach the same lesson. So this is the last video of the Infinite Content Marketing Ideas Playbook. Well, except for the bonus video I have for you. And at this point, we've now successfully built our Infinite Content Vault. So at this exact moment, you could use your vault to start planning your content through your desired frequency in the format that you want it. And all that is missing at this point, how you want to structure your content. Because we've already given it the SEO. We've already given it all of the top competitor videos and blogs. We've already given it your branding information and the most frequently asked questions across multiple platforms. So it is well equipped to give you the best content that is going to resonate with your target audience. We've thoroughly researched what they're struggling with and connected that to the solution that you provide. So now we just have to create that content that's going to resonate with them on a deeper level. And this tip's gonna ultimately vary based on different types of content. So we're gonna dig deeper on those details in the next video. I'll see you there. For tuning into Business Fundamentals with me, the Business Cowgirl. And if you want more free, awesome content just like this to help your business grow and develop online from a seasoned expert in business technical architecture. But if you really want your business to grow, then I highly recommend you check out my weekly newsletter, Winning Business, from somebody who's been a business consultant for the last 10 years, helping businesses create efficient and effective workflows to help their businesses save them time, money, and resources. What does that really mean? It means the answer to the question of what you need to build for where your business is trying to go. So when you're ready, those links are always down in all my video descriptions for you. So to be continued.